Level 1. The baker. Your hands are dusted with powdered sugar and your grandson is dying. Not quickly. Not the way you see in movies where someone closes their eyes and the machine flatlines and a doctor puts a hand on a shoulder. Slowly. The kind of dying that comes with copays and prior authorizations and an insurance case manager named Deb who calls every Tuesday to tell you that the experimental treatment is still under review. Mateo is 19 years old, and the tumor in his brainstem is the size of a walnut and has been there since he was 17, and you have $4,200 in a savings account that earns 0.4% annual interest. You are 67 years old, you live in Fresno, California, in a house you have owned for 31 years. Your husband, Ernesto, died in 2017. Your daughter, Camila, works 2 jobs and cannot make rent. Mateo lives with you because his mother's apartment is too small and because you are the one with the car and the schedule and the patience to sit in waiting rooms. You bake. You have always baked. Pan dulce, conchas, tres leches, tamales at Christmas. The neighbors know. The church knows. Father Dominguez once said your empanadas were proof of something larger than himself, and he was not a man given to exaggeration. This matters later. Everything matters later. The call that changes things comes on a Wednesday. You are rolling dough when your cell phone rings, and it is a number you don't recognize, and normally you don't answer those, but something makes you pick up. It is a man named Ricky who says he got your number from someone at the church fundraiser. He says he heard you bake. He says he has a proposition that isn't about baking, exactly, but that starts there. You hang up. He calls again Thursday. You hang up again. He calls Friday, and you are sitting in a hospital waiting room staring at a form asking you to confirm that you understand that Mateo's next round of treatment will cost $31,000 and that your insurance will cover approximately $6,400 of that. And your hands are very still because you are trying to understand a number that large. You answer. Level 2, the apprentice. Ricky explains it the way someone explains a business. Clean language, no drama. He needs a production space. Not a warehouse, not a facility, just a residential kitchen. Something unremarkable. Something that won't attract attention. He needs someone to follow a recipe. He says this word deliberately. Recipe. He knows who he is talking to. He needs someone who understands heat and timing and ratios and who will not panic. He pays $8,000 a month. Cash. In an envelope. Left in a paper bag on your porch every first of the month. The way a landlord collects rent. You are not stupid. You know what he is asking. He is asking you to cook methamphetamine. You sit with that for 3 days. You think about Deb and her Tuesday calls. You think about $31,000. You think about Mateo's face when he tries not to let you see how much his head hurts. The way he angles away from you so you won't notice him pressing 2 fingers against his temple. You think about the 31 years you spent in this kitchen and how nothing you made in it ever solved anything that mattered. You call Ricky back. The first cook takes place on a Sunday in October when Mateo is at his mother's and the street is quiet. Ricky's associate, a young man named Dario who smells of cigarettes and doesn't make eye contact, brings the precursor chemicals in a gym bag and walks you through the process once, standing 6 feet away from the stove like he's afraid of it. The procedure takes 4 hours. The yield is approximately 280 grams. Dario bags it in the garage. He takes the gym bag. He leaves $400 on your kitchen table without being asked, the way someone leaves a tip. Your house smells wrong for 2 days. You bake 3 batches of pan dulce to cover it. You open every window. The envelope arrives on the 1st of November. You pay $8,000 toward Mateo's treatment. The case manager's voice changes. People's voices change when money arrives. You notice this. Level 3, the professional. By February, you are faster. The initial procedure took 4 hours. Now it takes 2 hours and 40 minutes. You have optimized the airflow. You have learned to manage the temperature variation on your back burner. It runs 7 degrees hot, and Dario never accounted for this. But you did, because you have been accounting for temperature variation in this kitchen for 30 years. Your yields improve. 280 grams becomes 310, then consistently 340. Dario notices. He tells Ricky. Ricky comes himself one Sunday, which has not happened before. He sits at your kitchen table and drinks the coffee you offer him because you were raised to offer coffee, and he looks at you for a long time. He doubles your rate, $16,000 a month. You do not celebrate. You update a spreadsheet on your laptop titled Medical Expenses, and add a column. You have started keeping 2 sets of records, though you would not frame it that way. One is for the hospital. One is in a separate notebook in your underwear drawer, handwritten, because handwritten cannot be remotely accessed. You learned this from a news story about a man in Phoenix who kept everything digital. Mateo has his second surgery in March. It goes well. The walnut is smaller. The doctor says cautiously optimistic, which is not good, but it is not the other thing. You sit in the parking garage after and you cry for a long time, and then you drive home and you start a cook. This is the period that people don't understand, the period when it works. You are not reckless, you are not greedy, you do not buy anything new, you do not change your habits, you drive the same 2009 Honda Accord, you wear the same clothes, you attend the same church, you visit the same neighbors, you bring Father Dominguez empanadas on the third Sunday of every month. Ordinary is valuable now. Ordinary keeps you alive. Your neighbor Elena, who is 71 and has lived across the street for 22 years, occasionally mentions that your kitchen light seems to be on at odd hours. You tell her you've been having trouble sleeping, she brings you chamomile tea, you accept it. Elena is the person who will break the story, but not yet. Level 4, the operation. By summer, Ricky has expanded the arrangement. You are not the only kitchen. You understand this because Dario is sometimes unavailable and a different young man arrives, someone who doesn't know the routine, who has to be told where things are. But your kitchen is the most productive. This is communicated to you indirectly in the way that Ricky begins deferring to you in small ways, asking your opinion about temperature, about timing, about precursor ratios. The way a manager consults a senior employee. You have now received $112,000. $64,000 of that has gone toward Mateo's treatment. $18,000 has replaced the savings account you drained. $22,000 is in a shoebox in the crawl space beneath the house, divided into rubber-banded bundles of $2,000 each. The remaining $8,000 you spent on a new water heater, roof repairs, and a ceramic knife set that you paid for in cash at a Williams-Sonoma 40 minutes from your house. You begin attending a financial literacy class at the library on Wednesday evenings, because you understand, in the abstract, that you need a strategy for this money. The class is taught by a retired accountant named Gerald, who is 73 and extremely enthusiastic about Roth IRAs. You take notes. You ask good questions. Gerald tells another attendee, in your hearing, that you are his best student. This is where you meet Sylvia. Sylvia is 64, recently widowed, sharp as a thumbnail. She volunteers at the same library on Tuesdays. She noticed you first in the parking lot because you drive the same model of car and she thought it was hers. She is the kind of woman who laughs at herself and remembers what you've told her and shows up when she says she will. You have dinner together the following week. You talk for 3 hours. She is the first person in 8 months you have spoken to honestly about anything except Mateo's health. Not about the other thing, never about that, but about Ernesto, about the loneliness, about the specific weight of a house that is quiet in the wrong way. She nods in the places that need nodding. She does not try to fix anything. You like her more than you should. You know this is a problem before you can articulate why. Level 5, the discrepancy. The first sign arrives in September. It is small. A Fresno County Narcotics Task Force, 8 detectives, funded partially through a federal DEA grant, has been mapping the regional distribution network for a specific strain of methamphetamine that has been circulating in the Central Valley since the previous year. The mapping technique is called chemical signature tracing. Each batch of methamphetamine has trace impurities that function like a fingerprint. They reveal, to a forensic chemist, the temperature at which it was produced, the specific variant of precursor used, and often distinctive patterns consistent with a particular cook's method. Your batches have a signature. Your back burner runs 7 degrees hot. This creates a specific trace profile in the finished product. It has appeared now in 4 separate seizures across Fresno, Madera, and Tulare counties. You don't know this. What you know is that Dario seems distracted when he comes in October. He takes longer than usual to check the batch. He uses his phone constantly, which he didn't used to do. He asks you, without looking up, whether you've noticed anything strange in the neighborhood. You tell him no. You are not lying. You haven't noticed anything strange. But you start looking. The car you notice first is a dark blue Chevy Tahoe that parks on your street twice in a single week. Different spots each time, different days, but the same car. The windows are tinted past the legal limit. You write down the license plate in your medical notebook and then immediately tear out that page and burn it in the backyard because you are not sure yet, and you don't want evidence of suspicion, only fact. You cannot trace the license plate. You think about asking Ricky. You decide not to, because asking Ricky means acknowledging that you have noticed something, and acknowledging that you have noticed something means something has been noticed. Corruption doesn't feel like corruption when it solves your problems, but surveillance always feels like surveillance, even when you're wrong about it. You are not wrong. The task force has placed a pole camera on the utility line at the northwest corner of your street. It went up on a Tuesday while you were at Mateo's appointment. It has a 140-degree field of view and covers your driveway, your front door, and the street approach from 2 directions. The footage is reviewed every morning by a detective named Hernandez, who is 38 years old and grew up 4 miles from your house. Hernandez has children. He coaches his daughter's soccer team on Saturdays. He has been doing this work for 11 years, and he is very good at it. He has now seen Dario's car 7 times in 6 weeks. Level 6, the contractor. Ricky calls in November and tells you to stop. Not forever. A pause. 2 weeks, maybe 3. There is heat, he says, which is the word he uses, and you understand what it means. You say fine, and you clean everything, and you bake 8 batches of conchas, and you donate 4 of them to the church's winter food drive, and eat the other 4 over the course of a week, sitting at your kitchen table at 6 in the morning before the street wakes up. Sylvia calls to ask if you want to see a movie. You go. It is a film about a man who loses his memory and cannot recognize his wife. You think about it for days afterward. She asks you once, in the car on the way home, whether you're okay. Not casually, directly. She turns off the radio and looks at you in the way that means she is actually asking. You say you're just tired. Mateo's treatment, the costs, the worry. She nods. She believes this mostly because it is also true. She puts her hand briefly on your forearm and says that she's there if you need her, and you understand that she means it, and you understand also that there is a complete inventory of your life that she cannot see, and that the part she cannot see would end things between you immediately and permanently. You think about what it would take to show her. You think about it the same way you think about the Tahoe. You turn the thought over, examine it, and then set it down because looking at it directly doesn't help you. The task force does not take a pause. During the 3 weeks that your kitchen is dark, Hernandez obtains a warrant for phone records associated with Dario's number. The warrant is granted in Fresno County Superior Court on a Thursday morning. The phone records show 47 calls over 90 days to 3 separate numbers, one of which is a prepaid device that last pinged a cell tower 0.3 miles from your address. The task force now has your address as a location of interest. They do not know whose house it is yet. They run the address. The name that comes back is Carmen Reyes Villalobos. 67 years old. No priors. No record. Husband deceased. 1 adult child. 1 adult grandchild, currently undergoing treatment for a brain tumor. Hernandez sits with this for a moment. He does not stop. He has seen what this product does in his community. He knows what cautiously optimistic costs when you don't have the money. He is not without sympathy, but he does not stop. Level 7, the crumbling. January. Dario is arrested in a parking lot in Madera during a transaction. He is carrying 180 grams and $4,400. He does not say your name immediately, but immediately is a specific unit of time, and it passes. You don't know about Dario. What you know is that Ricky stops answering his phone on the 14th of January, which is a Saturday, and by Sunday you understand that something has broken. You call twice. The number goes dead the 3rd time. Not voicemail, not ringing, just silence where a connection used to be. You sit in your kitchen for 6 hours. You are not in denial. Denial is for people who haven't been watching. You have been watching. You take the notebook from the underwear drawer and you go through it page by page, and then you burn it in the backyard in the same metal trash can where you burned the license plate note, and you scatter the ash along the fence line, and you come inside and wash your hands 3 times. You pull the shoebox from the crawl space. $22,000 minus the water heater and the roof and the knives. What remains is $14,800. You count it. You recount it. You put $10,000 in an envelope and you drive to the hospital and you make a payment on Mateo's account in cash, which the billing department accepts, though the woman behind the desk looks at the envelope and then at you in a way you will remember. The task force executes a search warrant on your property 11 days later. You are home. You made this choice consciously. You did not run, not because you couldn't, but because running would mean Mateo's next appointment, and because you are 67 years old and there is nowhere that is far enough. You are standing at the counter making coffee when they knock, and you open the door before they can knock again, because you do not want them to break it. You have owned this door for 31 years. There are 8 of them. Hernandez is among them. He is professional and not unkind. He tells you what they have. He shows you the warrant. He asks if you understand. You say yes. They find trace chemical residue in the grout of the back left burner. They find $4,800 in cash in the shoebox, which is all that was left. They find nothing else because you are very good at ordinary. Level 8, the reckoning. Camilla arrives at the house 2 hours after they leave. Someone called her. A neighbor, probably Elena, who saw the vehicles. She stands in your kitchen and looks at you, and her face does the thing that faces do when they are trying to find the version of events that makes sense. You tell her, not everything, enough. She does not yell. She is 39 years old, and she has been tired for a long time, the kind of tired that has no cure. And she sits down at your kitchen table where you have fed her since she was 4 years old, and she puts her head in her hands. She says, "How long?" You say, 14 months. She says nothing for a long time after that. Sylvia calls on a Wednesday, and you do not answer. She calls again Thursday. You answer the second call, and you tell her that you are going through something legal and complicated, and that you cannot explain it, and that you are sorry for the months during which you were not fully honest with her, even though what you said was true, just not complete. She listens. She asks whether you are in danger. You say no, just consequences. She says she would like to still be in your life, and you tell her you appreciate that, but that you need her to understand that you don't know who you are going to be when this is over, and it is not fair to ask her to wait for a person you cannot yet describe. She cries a little. You do not, which tells you something about yourself that you do not examine closely. Matteo finds out from his mother. He calls you from the hospital. He is in for monitoring, a routine visit, and his voice is so careful. He has practiced what he is going to say. You can tell the way he practices things he is afraid of. He says he doesn't understand why you didn't tell him, why you didn't ask for help, why you carried it alone. You tell him the truth, because he was the reason, and telling him would have transferred the weight, and he was already carrying enough. He is quiet for a long time. He says, "Abuela, you didn't have to." And you say, "I know, I did anyway." This conversation is the hardest 3 minutes of your life. Worse than the warrant, worse than the arrest that follows 2 weeks later, worse than the courtroom. It is the hardest because he is still there at the end of it. Level 9, the plea. Your public defender is 29 years old and working her 4th case. She is not inexperienced. She is intelligent and thorough, and she puts in the hours, but she is 29 and you are 67, and she has never cooked mole from scratch. This is not a relevant detail except that it makes you aware of the gap between you, the things she cannot know about necessity. The federal charges are serious: manufacture and distribution of a Schedule II controlled substance, conspiracy. The exposure is significant, 17 to 22 years, depending on the enhancement. Your attorney explains this with a steady voice, and you listen with the same steadiness because panic is not useful and never has been. The cooperation discussions take 11 weeks. You know the name Ricky, but not his last name. You know Dario's name, which is already known. You know the schedule of pickups, the approximate volume over 14 months. Your lawyer calculates this with you, and the number is 4,700 grams. And you know the location of a secondary storage facility in Selma that you observed once from Dario's car window on a drive you were not supposed to be paying attention to. You were paying attention. The Selma facility leads to 2 additional arrests. This is noted in your file. The plea resolves at 37 months in federal custody with credit for cooperation. Minimum security. Your attorney says this is, given the quantity, the circumstances, and your complete lack of prior record, a result that surprised the prosecution. She says this without fanfare, just states it. You ask one thing, whether Matteo's medical records can be submitted as part of the sentencing documentation, the full 14-month history of treatment costs and coverage denials. Your attorney submits 43 pages. The judge reads them. The judge is 61 years old and has 3 grandchildren. She does not alter the sentence. She is not supposed to. But she says something from the bench that she does not say in most cases. She says that she understands the impossible arithmetic that brought you here, and that understanding does not change the law, and that she is sorry for both of those facts simultaneously. You tell her thank you, you mean it. Level 10, the kitchen table. You are released on a Tuesday in March, 31 months after entering custody. Early release for conduct for the GED tutoring program you ran 3 evenings a week, for being exactly who you were before any of this happened, which is either a measure of your character or a measure of how little this changed you, and you are still not sure which. Camilla picks you up. She doesn't bring Matteo, which is correct. You told her not to. You didn't want him to see the facility. You are protecting something whose name you cannot articulate. In the car, she is quiet for a long time. Then she turns on the radio, which is playing something you don't recognize, and she drives. Matteo's tumor has been stable for 14 months. Cautiously optimistic has become just optimistic, which is not a word the doctor used the first time. He is 22 now. He takes the bus. He has a girlfriend. He is studying to be an electrician. He is very ordinary in all the ways that count. You live in a different house. The first one was sold during the proceedings to offset forfeiture. This one is smaller, a rental in a quieter part of town, and the kitchen is half the size, but the stove is level. All 4 burners true. You know this because you tested them. You bake on Sundays, conscious mostly, sometimes pan dulce. You bring some to the family next door, who have 3 children under 8, and the youngest one comes to the door when she hears the bag rustling and looks at what you've brought with an expression of complete uncomplicated joy, and you let her take 2. Sylvia sends a card at Christmas, the 2nd year out. A simple card with a printed poinsettia and a handwritten note that says she hopes you are well and that she thinks about your dinner sometimes. You read it twice and then you set it on the counter next to the coffee maker and you look at it for several days. You do not write back. You should. You don't know what to say that is both honest and kind, and you have decided, in the remaining years you have, to only say things that are both. Elena, your old neighbor, has not spoken to you since the search warrant. You understand this. You held her street in your hands without her consent, and you are not surprised by the silence. You still make her empanadas in your head sometimes, the exact proportions, the way the fold has to overlap by half an inch, or the filling escapes. You work 4 mornings a week at a community center 6 blocks from your house. You teach a cooking class for seniors. Basic things, tamales, rice, simple soups. The women who come are 70, 75, one is 81. They move the way you move now, carefully, with attention to where their weight is going. They laugh at things you say without trying to be funny. You laugh too. You have not spoken to Ricky since the 14th of January 4 years ago. His name came up briefly in the sentencing documents. You do not look him up. He is not the point. The point is this. You made a calculation. You made it clearly, with full knowledge of at least some of what it would cost. You made it for someone you love, in a moment when love was the only currency that felt real. And it worked. The thing you needed to happen happened. Mateo is alive. Mateo is ordinary and alive. And you are sitting at a kitchen table in a rented house in March with a cup of coffee and the sound of a neighbor's dog in the yard. And the woman who used to live inside you. The one who baked for the church and drove to appointments and kept clean records and maintained 31 years of a house. She is somewhere still, not gone, just very far back, behind everything that came after her. You do not know if she would recognize you. You think she would understand.